In this video, we will be looking at how to combine harder ratios. So if you are not already confident with combining ratios, then please do check out the link in the description box. For number 1, we've been told points M, N, O, P lie on a straight line. MN to NO is equal to 3 to 2, and MO to OP is equal to 5 to 4. Find the ratio of MN to NO to OP. So first, we will just write down the ratio that we are looking for, which is MN to NO to OP. We can then write down the first ratio that we've been given, which is MN, so we can draw a box under MN. And the second ratio is NO, so we could put a box from N to O. The first ratio is 3 and the second one is 2. The second ratio that we've been given is MO to OP. So we can draw a box from M going all the way to O and put that in as 5. And the second ratio is starting at O going all the way to P, which is 4. As we can see, the whole ratio M to O is 5. And M to O has been divided into MN and then NO. So if we just split it in the middle, we can see that MN is 3 and NO is 2. We already know that OP is 4, so we can write OP as 4. And that is our combined ratio for MN to NO to OP. For number 2, we'll move to a little bit harder one. So it says point PQRS lie on a straight line. PQ to QS is equal to 4 to 5, and PR to RS is equal to 6 to 7. Find PQ to QR to RS. So again, we will just start by writing down the ratio that we are looking for, which is PQ to QR to RS. We can then fill in the ratios that we've been given. The first one is P to Q, so we can draw a box from P to Q, which is 4, and then Q going all the way to S, which is 5. The second ratio is PR to RS, so we can start the box at P going all the way to R, which is 6 parts, and then R to S is 7 parts. As we can see, for both these ratios that we've been given the full ratio going from P all the way to S. Because we do not have any combined ratios in this question, we have to use the total parts to combine this ratio. So if we look at the total parts in the first ratio, 4 plus 5 is equal to 9. And for the second ratio, 6 plus 7 is equal to 13. So what we would have to do is use the LCM of 9 and 13 to help us find the combined total parts. The LCM of 9 and 13 is 117. So we can write both total parts as 117 first. We then need to check what we did to 9 to make it 117. And we would have to multiply 9 by 13 in order to make it 117. Because we are doing that to the total parts, we would have to do it to the whole of that ratio. So we're multiplying each number in that ratio by 13. So to now write the combined ratio PQ to QR to RS, the first one will now change from 4 to 4 times 13, which is 52. And 5 times 13 would change to 65. For the second ratio, we need to check what we did to 13 to make it 117. And to make 13 into 117, we would have to multiply that by 9, which means we have to multiply each number in that ratio by 9. 6 times 9 would give us 54. So that ratio now becomes 54 parts. And R to S would be 7 times 9, which is 63 parts. So if we now split all the parts individually, we can see that PQ is 52 parts, and we can see that RS is 63 parts. So in order to find QR, what we can do is from 117, we can take away the total of 52 and 63, which gives us 2. So that means our ratio QR is 2, and that gives us a final combined ratio of 52 to 2 to 63. So that is our final answer for the combined ratio of PQ to QR to RS. Number 1, points W, X, Y, and Z lie on a straight line. WX to XZ is equal to 3 to 7, and WY to YZ is equal to 4 to 5. Find WX to XZ to YZ. So first we will write down the ratio that we are looking for, the combined ratio being wx to xy to yz. And then we will fill in the ratios that we know. W to x is 3, so we will put 3 in there. And x going all the way to z is 7, so we will put 7 under that. Wy to yz is 4 to 5, so from w going all the way to y, we will fill in 4 there. And then for y to z is 5. As we can see, in both these ratios, we do not have any common ratios. So what we would have to do is use the total parts to help us combine this ratio. The total of 3 and 7 is 10, and the total of 4 and 5 is 9. So we have to then use the LCM of 9 and 10 to combine our total, which is 90. So we are going to combine our total parts into 90, and we now need to check what we need to do to 10 in order to make it 90. 10 times 9 would give us 90, which means we have to multiply all the numbers in that ratio by 9. 9 times 3 gives us 27, and 9 times 7 gives us 63. To check what we have to do to 9 to make it 90, we would have to multiply that by 10. So we would have to multiply all the numbers in that ratio by 10. 4 times 10 would give us 40, and 5 times 10 would give us 50. If we then individually split each ratio in the middle, we can see that w to x is just going to be 27, and our yz is going to be 50. So in order to find xy, we would have to take away from 90 the total, which gives us 90 take away 77, and that would be equal to 13. So our ratio for x to z is 13. And that is our final answer for number 1. 12 to 13 to 50.
For number 2, we've got AB to BD, which is equal to 2 to 5, and AC to CD, which is equal to 3 to 7. Find AB to BC to CD. So first we will start by writing the ratio that we are looking for, which is AB to BC to CD. We can then fill in the ratios that we know. The first ratio that we know is AB to BD. So A to B is 2 parts, and B going all the way up to D is 5 parts. The next ratio that we know is AC to CD. So A going all the way to C is 3 parts, and C to D is 7 parts. As we can see, there's no common ratios that we have in any of these ratios, so we need to use the total parts to combine this ratio. The total parts for the first ratio is 7, and the total parts for the second ratio is 10. We therefore have to look for the LCM of 7 and 10, and the LCM of 7 and 10 is 70. So we can write our ratio again, and in order to make 7 into 70, we have to multiply it by 10, which means we would have to multiply all the parts in that ratio by 10. So 2 times 10 is 20, and 5 times 10, 50. In order to make 10 into 70, we would have to multiply that by 7. So we have to multiply each part in this ratio by 7. 7 times 3 is 21, and 7 times 7 is 49. So we now have both ratios that are equal to the same totals, and if we just split these ratios individually, we can see that AB is 20, CD is 49, and in order to look for BC, we can take away from 70 the total of 20 and 49. So this would be 70 take away 69, which is equal to 1, and that means the ratio BC is 1. So our combined ratio is 20 to 1 to 49. So here are some practice questions that you can try, so you can pause the video and have a go independently if you wish to do so. Number 1 says, points A, B, C and D lie on a straight line. AB to BD is equal to 2 to 5, and AC to CD is equal to 3 to 4. Find AB to BC to CD. So first we can write down the combined ratio that we're looking for, which is AB to BC to CD. We can then fill in the ratios that we have. The first one is AB, which is 2, and the second one is BD, which is 5. The next ratio we have is AC to CD. So A to C is 3 parts and C to D is 4 parts. If we look at the total of these parts, we can see that 2 plus 5 is 7 and 3 plus 4 is also 7, which means we've already got our total combined, and now we can simply individually look at each ratio. So our AB is already 2 and our CD is already 4. So if we do 7 take away 4 plus 2, that is just 7 take away 6, which is equal to 1. So our ratio for BC is 1. And that is our combined ratio, 2 to 1 to 4. For number 2, points M, N, O, and P lie on a straight line. MN to NP is equal to 3 to 4, and MO to OP is equal to 5 to 6. Find MN to NO to OP. So the first thing is we're going to write down the ratio that we're looking for, which is the combined ratio of MN to NO to OP. The next thing we can do is fill in the ratios that we have. The first one is M to N, which is 3 parts, and N all the way to P is 4 parts. The second ratio that we have is M to O, which is 5 parts, and then O to P, which is 6 parts. If we look for the total of these, the first total is 7 and the second total is 11. That means we first have to combine our totals by looking for the LCM of 7 and 11, which is 77. So if we just rewrite the ratio that we're looking for now, we can now change these ratios such that the total parts are 77. If we look at the first ratio, to make 7 into 77, we have multiplied that by 11, which means we have to multiply the whole of that ratio by 11. 11 times 3 is 33, and 4 times 11 is 44. In order to make 11 into 77, we have multiplied that by 7, so we will multiply the whole of that ratio by 7. 7 times 5 gives us 35, and 6 times 7 is 42. So if we split this ratio now, we can individually find each ratio. So we can see that MN is 33, and the other individual one that we have is OP, which is 42. In order to find NO, we can take away from 77 the total of 33 and 42, which is 77 take away 75, and that gives us 2, which means the ratio of N to O is 2, and our final combined ratio is 33 to 2 to 42.